Okay, welcome all to the November 3rd meeting of the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. With all public meetings, we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, minutes from October 19th meeting. That was our shortest meeting in probably a year.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of October 19th. I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, credit card, is there any movement on that?
Nothing yet.
Okay, we'll have to check on that. And everybody's aware of what that was about?
Yep.
Okay. Webster True Up, upcoming meeting. Just to confirm, November 10th, a week from tomorrow, at the Webster Town Hall. They did say what time we were meeting in.
6:30.
6:30, yes. I can't remember, it's in the email, I believe, that came out to all of us.
Is Mr. Brinkman come, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Brinkman is scheduled to be there, yes. I talked to him and he will be there. I'll confirm it with him between now and the end of the week.
Who's going to that?
We're all,
Well,
yep, that'll be
It's been
posted.
posted already.
It's posted as a regular meeting of ours.
Yep.
I don't think there's no need to require Jen to be there. If she wants to be, she can. Okay.
That's okay, thank you.
So one of us will just have to take some notes for ourselves, for our board.
so that's it. Just
Six,
City Hall.
at their town hall, yes. We can get, moving on the, maybe a quick, timely resolution of the True Up, and then, if nothing else, have us all there, we can all meet each other and try to develop a more active relationship. Okay, job descriptions. Has anybody, I'll be honest, I haven't reviewed them since 2 weeks ago, so. The one, I did look at the ones online, but the ones that were sent to us that went from the union, but I didn't get a chance to actually side by side them. I don't know if anybody else has, to be able to point out what got changed. Okay, so you want to hold that off for the next, so that we can, I really want folks to be able to review those before we
I didn't get those, Jen.
make any changes.
You didn't get any?
They were sent by email.
Yeah, I sent them to both of your emails too.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't, let me know and I'll resend.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Webco PFAS notification. Did you all, I received a notification, along with the town administrator, the Board of Health, and a whole bunch of others. I think it came to the water office as well. But I forwarded it out to the rest of the board. You didn't get it at all on the water side?
Not on water side, no.
Okay. So I neglected, I don't know why it came to me.
It only came to me as chairman for Board of Health. It didn't go to the Board of
Okay,
Health.
so that they sent it to the
All
chairman of the individual boards. They had it, well, you can read it all there, and I just finally did some conversions of the numbers that they just don't make sense.
I think you sent it to us, I think we talked about it.
In my email, it says that I forwarded it, but if it didn't, let me look.
Or did
Webco
you-
notification,
Did you send it to the,
where, let's see, True, to Dudley PFAS, one, I mean,
did you send it to the,
yeah. Webco PFAS release, and it is forwarded. So, let me find I forwarded it on October 25th. I forwarded it to Bob, Tom, Jay, and Bill.
Can you just forward it to sewer water, please?
And I will, whoops,
did you send it to my personal or my?
no, what it was the town one.
I don't get the town ones.
Webco, okay, all right, that's probably why. Forward to
Send it to my personal, please. Are you doing that?
sewer. F-O-N, okay. And what's your,
My problem is I don't get to the town.
what's your personal?
W.J. Conley. @
See if it comes up. W, J, yep,
Yeah.
okay, there.
Send
It's
it
been
to my-
sent.
Send it to, Scott, send it to my client?
I did.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Webco is a public water supplier
It's considered a public water.
because of their
supply.
employees and their business. So do they go through testing with someone else that has to be certified and qualified to report to the DEP?
What water runs
A big chunk of that email is a DEP report.
So
It's been reported to
White
us.
Water is aware of everything that would have to take place in a business like that.
But that, technically, it sounds like it was a release, not
Mhm.
their well, it was found in a private well, I guess. So none of
No,
it made sense in the
that-
identity.
That's just my question,
The
that
numbers-
they follow under someone's regulations as far as being a public water supply.
So
You know?
the numbers, it says are micrograms per liter. I did a conversion on that, and that first number would be a million. No, 0.1, 188,000. That's way high. That's crazy. I don't see that that's even,
But the HM stands for hazardous material.
right. Well, the other one is, it's, the O is oils.
Reported, yeah, it's reportable concentration, so, and it's a release notification, so they must have spilled something, so, I don't know.
Oh,
if
maybe.
These are actually well samples, they may have been.
Maybe, yeah, it
samples.
doesn't, well, in the front in the
The cover letter.
cover letter.
It says a release was detected in a private well,
Right,
but it
What-
doesn't give you any,
yeah.
It does. At the end of
but-
it, it tells you the 3 addresses that are affected.
yeah, it tells you the 3 addresses that they found in water
Right.
in their wells, but none of the.
Tells where it,
The sample IDs or anything, none of them, there's no identification, all it says is PFAS 6, and then hazardous material, then they give the amount of concentration.
Where did you see
Yeah.
the three
That's the
three
Wi-Fi
addresses?
At the very bottom,
508
it just tells you.
949
Right at the very end? Oh, okay, there we go.
8888.
Yeah. Those are all, okay, yeah. Okay, well, but I mean, at this point, for us, it's a notification, but just wanted folks to be aware and, make sure that it got to,
You think that could fall in the Quinnebog River aquashed, aquifer? That area?
and we may end up at some point ending up having to extend mains, or might have that potential if something has to be done.
Yeah, they
Depends whose
probably
fault it
did
is.
Hmm?
Depends whose fault it is.
Yeah, well, that'll be in determining
It's
how
gonna
it's,
depend on the
how it's
cost.
paid for.
Yeah, well, it would depend on the cost, because they may just put treatment and start value around it.
Yeah, could be,
See, filters.
yeah. But in any case, I just wanted to make sure it was,
Yeah, because
everyone's
not
aware
too
of
far
it.
away right down to the Connecticut line on Route 31, we have town water. It stops at the Connecticut line coming down from the tank.
Right.
Okay,
You've got it up a distance on each of the 3.
Yeah,
ones that come down.
yeah. But the closest one would be
Yeah.
in this private property in between. And you'd have to, road-wise, you'd have to go through Connecticut.
Yeah, but I believe Webco owns the property all the way to,
Yeah, the
all the
fields.
way to 31,
Yeah.
which, in the back, which means it could run across
Yeah,
their property
yeah.
and stay in Massachusetts.
Mhm,
To
yeah.
go into Connecticut, we'd have to get permission
That's what
from
I'm getting at,
Connecticut.
yeah, yeah.
That would be huge.
But knowing the PFAS doesn't go anywhere, and Yummies is a public water supply themselves.
Right.
So I don't know if they're tested, if they came up with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Just, at this point, it's just a notification. Lead service line replacement and inventory. That was the Warren article, correct?
Tell us the story, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so, town meeting, I was not able to be there. I had another commitment out of town. But evidently, the verbiage in the article that made it to the town meeting floor was insufficient for the purposes of applying to the SRF. And that's coming right from SRF through tie and bond. So, we're out as of right now. I've had meetings with the town administrator, and I'm still waiting to hear from town council to find out how it happened. We have copies of, in our packet, there's a copy of the markup. It is black and white, but what you see there, what is just plain text, is what we presented to them. What's lined out and underlined is what town council changed. That's from the original markup. And then from there, if you've got a town meeting warrant, you can see the article that actually, it is in here?
It's attached to the back side of it.
Oh, it's on the back side is the article as it appeared on the warrant. There's the verbiage basically at the end is what the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust, whether this appropriation shall be raised by borrowing with the potential of borrowing from the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust. That verbiage has to be in there, and it wasn't. So, I had a discussion with the town administrator, waiting on word back from town council. But I also had a conversation with our engineer concerning how this is set up. It is set up as they have, I believe, $10 million to give out, and it's going out first come, first serve. I misunderstood. I thought the deadline was November 1st. It is not. There is no deadline. So we can still apply. There are options. It has to go to a town meeting, so a special town meeting could be called if needed. We're still kind of pushing through, trying to get all the information that we need.
Mr. Chairman, did the town administrator have any idea why it was changed?
That's what he's, part of it was to add the contingent, the last two lines, making it contingent upon. That all came out of a joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and the Finance, FAA, and they wanted that to be put in there.
So the selectmen
So
changed it.
at that point, it got changed. Town council was at that meeting. So if somehow it got changed, and that's where, waiting on a call back from town council. I met with them yesterday.
Council?
I met with town administrator yesterday morning, and he was hoping to set up a conference call, because, if I'm at work, he has my number, and he'll, I'll contact, I didn't contact him, work got a little crazy this afternoon,
So,
But I'll contact the town administrator in the morning and ask him what's up with that.
so it was the selectmen and the finance, the ones that changed it?
Yes, it got changed after that meeting.
So if we presented an article to go before town meeting,
Right.
and they're changing it, why is it not presented the way we want, and then they can make a motion to amend it on the town floor?
That,
I mean, this article was written incorrect across the board.
Mhm.
You're trying to do a borrowing article, and they changed it from borrowing
to a transfer.
to a transfer from retained earnings. And if you say to vote to transfer from retained earnings the sum of $250,000 or $200,000 for this project, but then say this is contingent on getting a loan through SRF, you already stated that you're transferring it. So
Right.
the article doesn't meet any standard that would be required for town meeting to begin with.
Yep. The original article said, see if the town will vote to transfer from available funds.
Right. And
That's
and a vote-
standard for verbiage.
And a vote to transfer is different than a vote that has potential borrowing, because if it's a borrowing article, it has to be 2/3 majority.
Yeah, could the available funds
So
be
everything
a
about
borrow?
that article, it was impossible for that to pass and be a viable article.
And because it's because it would have been a borrowing article, as Bob had pointed out during conversation earlier, that should be by a supermajority,
And-
4/5,
And I don't know that I've ever seen an article.
or 2/3.
Even if we were gonna do it from retained earnings, you would typically write the article to say, raise and appropriate.
Borrow or transfer.
Specific, specific, yeah.
No,
But you put all the options in.
raise, appropriate, borrow, or transfer was the words that have been in spending articles for as long as I've been going to town
Is it
meetings.
some
And
reason,
that, for some reason, is not there, and,
Mr. Chairman, is there some reason they changed our article? It didn't tell us?
That's
It's
fine.
just
Again.
common courtesy, I would think.
yeah, you're right, I haven't gotten that answer.
I want to get clarification on when we write an article.
I sent over exactly what Jeff sent to
Oh, I
us.
know,
And in the conversation I had with him this afternoon, he said that word, and that, a lot of that they got directly from
Right.
the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust,
How they want it handled.
the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust.
But
That's,
I'm curious as to who has the authority.
Who's the author?
to Alter, I mean, who's
Oh.
to say that they wouldn't take Article 21, that we're trying to buy a new dump truck to replace ours,
And
and
go
they
down
change
to
it to say.
$120,000.
Well, purchase a dump truck for highway.
Yeah. Well, like I
You
say,
know what I mean?
to miscue the numbers.
It's throwing it all off, and to be honest, that's a $400,000 swing that the ratepayers are gonna have to do, because they reworded an article. So it's 200,000 that we could've got
To the state.
free through the
Free.
state, but now we're gonna have to pay 200,000, so that's a $400,000 swing.
if,
To the water
hoping,
users.
I'm hoping we can, we'll get an answer soon from town council as to how it got changed. And then, if it's the wish of the board, push for a special town meeting to, that's, either we wait until spring town meeting and
Hopefully there's
put
money
the
left.
put the article out there and hope there's still money there.
Is there a deadline on the SRF?
There's not a deadline, but it's a first come, first
First
served.
Oh, yeah,
come,
so it
first
could be
served.
wiped
So-
out.
So when the money
Could be wiped
runs out,
Yeah. Gone, it's gone.
And
we're
the-
asking, we're a small town, we're asking for
The town-
200,000.
The town clerk said you could do a special town meeting. She
Oh.
would hold it here
Right.
in the selectmen's
At
office.
whose expense?
That, she
Because
said it would be,
Because
I
they
know.
went and changed an article, so it doesn't meet the.
There's certain
Right.
things that have to be done and there are
That,
certain expenses
she
with
just
that.
was letting me know that she would do one here in the selectmen's meeting room,
Yep,
and it wouldn't be as expensive, but she didn't know who would cover what. She just was letting me know that
That's-
that could be done.
again, and this is all since,
Well, what we're saying is,
a week ago.
we did our due diligence through Jeff to have it worded properly.
Right.
And someone
When
miscued
are
it
the-
now. Why should we have to,
We paid to
yeah.
have it work.
Right,
Wouldn't that be part of our indirect cost to have that service done? When we give the right information?
right.
Mr. Chairman, what
All good points.
when's the next
I don't have
selectmen's
any.
meeting?
The next selectmen's meeting, I believe, is Monday. This Monday coming up. Today's Wednesday. I suppose we could have it placed on the agenda.
We should potentially look at securing our own legal counsel for water and sewer. Just so they can review our articles and review the legality of them
And let them,
and get the wording done correctly. I hate to do the extra work. but
Yeah, because as it is now, we have a
Intention to get
budget.
the articles on, and it's written the way that.
We're
it
paying-
says, and we don't have-
we pay for town
We're paying.
council already anyways.
We have a line item
We're
for
paying
town
for bad
council.
advice now.
But we gotta get permission from the
Well,
selectmen to
the-
use it.
Right.
The review of the warrant article and the changes were done by town council, but that was, we didn't pay for that particular part of it. That's part of the selectmen's responsibility for assuring that the warrant
But they
is correct and legal and all of that.
They give indirect costs for town council to us, do they not?
Yeah, we pay indirects, yes.
Mr. Chairman, should we go to the selectmen's meeting and ask them? At least get put on the agenda, so in case we do not hear back from them by Monday.
If that's the wish. What do others think?
I just don't
Yeah, I
want-
mean, if we
I don't
go as a
want the-
board, we have to post, if we go as a board, we have to post a meeting. We can all be there and it not be a meeting, however, we can't all,
I think if you go to,
Speak.
go to the selectmen for an answer, you're not gonna get an answer, because it's gonna be like, we don't know.
and,
Well, we requested already, so
yeah,
But we manage our budget, and they changed our article to be contingent on a funding source, but they're saying it was our funding source to begin with. They changed it to just our funding source, and then said that the article's only contingent on getting a loan, which wasn't even an option after the way they wrote it.
right.
But it's, why are they putting contingent language in there if that should be the decision of the board, that if the article passed and then we did not receive the SRF loan and forgiveness, we would make that determination. not
I
move forward with
didn't
that
catch with 100% surety who made the comment, but a comment came from the front of the room when the contingency was brought up, that the water department is going to have an incredible amount of debt coming up that they're going to have to start paying back, and they have, this should be
And we looked at
contingent
that,
on.
And we had,
Yes,
we
and-
had a rate study done, and we investigated all the
All options.
potential projects that were coming up and the expense for them, and those were all factored in. And when we went to the finance committee, they had reviewed that, and they said, oh, you did a rate study, and it looks like the ratepayers can absorb all that, so they didn't want to pay any portion of that treatment plant,
Mhm.
saying that the ratepayers could absorb it. So we worked on grants and everything else to bring those costs down, but now they're saying that they can't afford it, and they're trying to cut costs. So either they can't afford it and the town should be kicking in towards the
I'm pretty
treatment
sure I
plant.
know who said it, but I can't be 100% sure, so at that point,
I'm
you know,
just
I'm
saying
not
that
gonna,
they're picking which way they wanna go, depending on what's in front of them. When, you know, at one time they're saying that they can't afford it, and the other time they're saying that they can afford it. It's just whatever works
it's,
towards their benefit at the time.
So should we go and ask them? I mean, they have to know about it. If you talk to the administrator, I would think the administrator would be in touch with each of them.
I don't think an article from enterprise fund should be changed without it being reauthorized through the enterprise fund, through the board.
through the enterprise oversight, yes.
Because maybe we didn't, you know, we may have accounted for the retained earnings for other projects, and our whole intent may have been to borrow. So they're distributing enterprise funds without going through the board that's overseeing.
Yeah, spending money they have no authority to touch.
Somebody owes
Sure.
50 bucks.
I've voiced my opinion with others. That article was so poorly written, I can't imagine. I mean, I believe I could have written a better article without being a lawyer. If that's written by a lawyer, oh boy, they need to go back to school, at least for this part of stuff.
But we need to investigate this because this is $400,000 for our water users.
But regardless of who did it,
Yes.
everyone that was associated with this, from finance committee to board of selectmen to town administrator to town council, all know how to write an article. And
Right.
I-
Submit, right,
I
and
can't
submit,
say that
yeah.
I've probably ever seen one go before the town that was written.
Oh, here comes George.
It's making me think there's another reason behind writing the article.
Right, I don't know. I can't. So
Would
we're
you be
still,
able-
still,
would you be available
still working.
Monday?
I'll check that.
So, could you, because I think they have until tomorrow to fill their agenda. So ask that we get placed on the agenda to discuss warrant Article 20. I guess when they see the agenda, they'll ask, if they don't know already. I spoke with one selectman at this point. I saw him last night, so. But it was brief, it didn't really, we didn't have a chance to get into depth, but
Did you know about it?
he wasn't aware of the back part, he wasn't aware of the fact that we had been disqualified from the Clean Water Trust borrowing. Okay, and I'll continue to try to work through the town administrator to get
Yeah, right.
a response.
Over
In
the day,
in any
we get an
case,
answer.
What time does the
we
select
can
board meet?
request I don't know exactly all of it's gonna be tricky to get a special town meeting together, simply because of timing. It's gotta be posted, warrant,
She said it would be possible.
but I'm
Before the end of
just.
the year.
Before the end of the year, but it's, a month out is putting us right into the Christmas season, and trying to pull together folks for it's probably be a fairly short meeting, but, we have to do what we have to do, so.
What time does selectmen meet, Jen?
6:30.
6:30.
Okay. Budget revenue review. We have in our packet a copy of, we used to every month. We used to get this years ago, and for some reason, 8 years or so ago, we stopped doing this. First page is
We stopped getting it, you mean?
yes. The budget for sewer, and on the back of that, water, and that's with remaining balance and percent of the line items that are left. I don't see in there. I don't see any of the payroll line items.
Keep going, probably just flipping the pages over.
And then the second page is expenses and encumbrances. Water is on the top, and there's a bunch of town stuff, and sewer is on the back. But none of this,
Payroll.
that has personnel line items,
Right.
but the budget itself does not.
No, it's not. Those are the revenues. The first two pages are the
Oh,
revenues.
all right, I had it backwards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, actual.
Actual and budgeted, okay, that's, okay.
You know when these numbers are through, revenue is calculated? I know it's
Um,
printed on the first, but
The actual and budgeted expenses were done on the 1st, and this was closing out September, October. The actual and anticipated revenues are through September, not October.
So they're a
He
month,
he did not have October at this time.
yeah, I would imagine that that's still,
Actually, the report period is July 2022 to June 2023. Okay, so it was.
This is a new fiscal year, July 1st, right?
Yes.
yeah, that's this,
Yeah.
that's this
Yeah.
year, yeah. That's the whole year.
but
So when you-
Yeah, I would imagine that,
This was through end of September.
End of September,
revenues are through.
So it's only 3 months, quarter of the
through the
year.
end of
Yeah.
September,
25%.
right.
This is end of October.
We're at 41 point.
Give it to me, wherever you got it.
You don't want it.
So ideally,
Water-
everything would be 75% left, ideally, with 3/4 of the year left.
Water, gasoline is still, is the only line item that's,
So we're over.
that we've broken.
I'll be calling tomorrow to do, if I don't hear.
What's that?
So 58.08% is the target.
Oh, it
number.
is the target number. So on water then,
Just the gas.
just the gas is down. Leak detection, we've spent nothing on.
I think November coming up.
Huh?
November 10th, he's coming in.
Oh, that's November, okay, so that's coming up. And then the other one that's 100% is safety? Safety, okay, safety and leak detection. And insurance. We haven't paid anything on insurance yet? I thought we did.
We just paid, so it
Oh,
probably.
it was just, okay,
Yeah.
that's right, we
Yep.
just. it
I
hasn't-
think she processed it today, so it didn't.
So it didn't make this report?
Yep.
Okay. And then, on sewer's looking good all the way down.
Not too bad considering all the stuff we've had to.
Sewer doesn't have a gasoline line item?
Should, let me just find it.
Actually, it looks like,
Can't see.
superintendent operator, secondary operator.
It does. It's on this top of the second part of the sewer, it's about 5 down.
Second part of the sewer?
Am I missing it?
It's on the back?
Yeah, well,
No, so your water and sewer goes back to back?
yeah, that's your revenues,
That's the first one, and then the
Yep.
second one is back to back?
right? Water's at the top.
Flip it over?
When we go on the other-
Yeah, we don't have, there's no,
Yeah, sewer, but you're missing,
we're missing the end of it, because
Oh,
it doesn't have that total line item.
You don't have,
it looks like you're missing a lot of line items.
you don't have the sewer?
Sewer ends with, the last line we have is sewer Webster processing.
0060?
You got this, Scott? You had that?
Yeah, that's the front.
Okay.
But the back page,
May I see what I,
the back page ends, the last line on the back page is Webster processing. We don't have the rest of it after Webster processing.
so, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah, something,
I know, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
that's,
I
yeah,
apologize.
that's a totally different,
There was no money.
oh, this is,
Superintendent of water.
this is weird.
Look at his half the salary.
So that's that page, okay, that's page 7. We're missing page 8. We don't have page, that's, which is page 8, the backside.
Right, so I apologize.
Okay, that's water and sewer fund.
I will get it to you.
Still looks like we're missing
But why there's
a
sewer,
lot, oh, yes.
yeah, there's something missing, something's not right.
And expenses,
Okay.
we don't have any salary expenses.
The water.
You have salary expenses on sewer, sure.
But not in the water.
On the other side.
On the,
On-
nope.
No, on your page 8, the page that, the spot, the page only that you have.
Oh, okay, page 8 has the.
Yeah, so if you
the-
want me to go make copies of that, I will.
Okay.
My apologies.
Everybody has it to review. Good catch.
We're missing the first part of water and the last part.
No, actually, there's a whole page there. It's got it's got water and sewer all together on one page. I don't know what all that,
Pretty spread around.
that first, that other, those other pages are actual budgeted expenses
honor
and
system.
encumbrances. That's got more on there than it should. I don't know why, and I don't know what that water fund 0061 and sewer fund 0060 are, because that page that she's going to make copies of has the entire budget on it for both departments. That's page 8. I don't know what this page 9 is. Yeah. We'll be able to look at it.
How does this fall with the building as well?
Billing?
Yeah, you do quarterly billing, right? So does this include 2 quarters or 1 quarter? It was through September, so
That's through September,
July,
yes.
August would be your 1 billing.
July and August.
You don't have the end of the second billing.
July, August, September is a quarter.
So this is where if we had.
This will be July, August, September. This is first quarter.
Bob, you're talking the income.
Right,
Yeah,
looking at
Billing.
the revenues.
Yeah.
When was our last billing, when was our last reading, Judge?
Last meeting?
Last reading.
Oh, it just happened. We just had it like a week and a half ago.
Okay, so,
So this is where if we saw commitments for the billing,
Yeah.
so if we knew how much was billed,
the
we
current,
could add up how much was billed and then how much we collected.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still doing repairs and things and update, problems.
Current-
we get
I
ready.
know the new billing software. I'm just saying that
the current year,
anytime there's a billing, we should have a commitment for how much was billed.
Yeah, yeah.
the current year, year-to-date revenues, column 1, 2, 3, fourth column over, that number there under about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down, 462, 175.84. That is water user charges.
So you're on water.
Yes, then actually sewer should be the same. Sewer user charges, it's the same thing, current year, year-to-date. That's first quarter. So at the end of September is the first quarter, July, August,
How
September.
do you know that first quarter and not second quarter?
Well, this is the end of September. Well, I mean,
Right.
first quarter of the fiscal.
But if you billed in August and this goes through the end of September, you had August and September, 2 out of the 3 months. to-
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If we
okay.
had the commitments, we would know how much was billed through half the year at this point.
okay.
Thank you.
If you're trying to compare your
Apples to, oh,
expenses
yeah.
that are a different time period and your revenues, but you don't know.
No, prior to this, your
Ah,
billing would have
that's-
been around July. That money should be
That's what's
reflected.
screwed up. Okay, I see it
Billed
now.
last week, read last week. Those bills aren't even processed yet. So the last billing cycle would have been around July, right? And that money should be reflected here now.
Right, so you billed in July?
Yes.
In August.
No, July, and we
July.
just
Just
billed
last week.
October.
Oh,
this-
wow, yeah,
this-
this is all messed up.
This would reflect the July income, or August income.
This is just one billing. though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It's one billing quarter.
Do you make copies of commitments at all, anytime billing's done?
Mhm.
So you know what
Yep,
committed everything?
yep, I have that. I do that. Absolutely.
Well, how do you do that when he does the bill?
I commit it, then he pulls the commitment to print it. But I commit it.
And you do commitments for like the billing and then any ancillary billing?
Yep, finals, anything, yep.
Backflow testing and all that.
We don't do that through there yet. Hopefully, I'm gonna work towards getting that
But you
in.
must have something that you bill out on.
Yep,
So we know how many were billed?
yes.
So the expense report kind of goofy the way the pages go. You've got 7 on one page, 8 is what Jen just gave us, and 9 is on the back of 7. So you start out,
She's saving paper.
Sorry.
yeah, no, it happens. So on 7, you've got the first part of sewer. On 8, you've got the last part of sewer, and the first part of water, and then the last part of flip 7 over, and you've got the last part of water on the top. It's all goofy.
What would you expect, you know?
Must have been Friday at the end of the day.
No, it was actually this afternoon trying to
Yeah,
fight with
It
the
happens.
copier.
so it is all there now.
Excuse me.
So we can see the budget and what's left. And the account, okay, so there's,
So who's?
radio readers is running down, but that's fine.
Did you
Overtime's
sign,
done.
voucher for the indirects?
Mr.
I'm
Chairman.
just looking, yeah, indirects,
'Cause they've already taken their money, I just don't know if we signed off on the indirects.
I don't remember seeing a voucher.
Don't
not for- you know,
believe
92,000.
so.
Dan, did they send you one?
I don't,
Which one?
right here, indirect.
Indirect.
Was it
Sewer-
under water or
Sewer
sewer?
indirect is
Oh, no.
93,000,
Zero.
and it's zeroed, so that
Nothing
means they've
left.
taken it.
no.
If they just took it without getting a voucher, then,
I'll look into that.
and then then water,
Same thing.
I still have to.
Indirects.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will check.
okay.
We didn't have a voucher for that.
I don't recall.
I don't recall seeing one either.
But I will double
Would've
check
been a
just to be sure.
discussion.
I don't know,
That's
so I
nuts.
didn't sign.
Well, we talked about it.
Yeah,
a
well,
few
there's only
times, I
2,
thought.
so it's possible some of us might not have seen it,
That's what I
but,
was asking.
but I don't remember signing one. That's one that I,
And that's a
What do you
lot, that's a large amount. I would
Yeah.
tend to remember.
Especially they got it right at the beginning of the year. It's not like it was 2 or 3 payments. They front-loaded the bill and took it out immediately if they did it.
Yeah, they
I'll
did.
find out.
okay, so there's
Well, maybe we ought to
the
put that
budget
back
for
forward.
our viewing pleasure.
That way.
And
Save it
revenues.
by points, pay it that way.
I haven't found the sewer. Is the sewer,
That's been
Yep.
paid to.
that one too? That's zero?
Been taken out, right?
Yeah, it's been taken, yeah.
Okay.
Sewer and sewer, there it is.
Wow, I took most of the sewer indirect.
Sewer, other indirect.
There's 4,100 left in the sewer
Retirement.
retirement.
Sewer indirect retirement assessment, okay. Yeah, there's $4,000 left for some reason. Maybe that cost actually went down. I know that changes from time, that changes with the way they do all of that through that buying group that they, the Western Mass, whatever group. So, you'll look for that,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So we're up to 185,000 indirect.
Okay, and actually, it's not on the agenda, but while we're talking about indirects, I forwarded the email,
It's printed in each of your folders.
that indirect book. Oh, awesome, thank you.
Lost that one.
Where is it?
It's the last.
Oh,
item.
right at the back. I spoke with Rich yesterday, and he was able to locate this. This is the backbone of the whole indirect process for the town of Dudley, dated February of 2000. So it's there for our review, and we can look at it and talk about it at a future meeting. But in any case, any questions, anybody have any questions or any other questions or concerns about the budget? The budget and revenue reports? So if we can see this, if you could.
I'll make
print-
sure it's copied correctly
stick-
next time.
Yeah, stick it in the packet each month.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, just on the indirects.
Yep.
Shouldn't we be paying that like quarterly?
I would think that would be, like everything else, we don't pay.
Right, but whoever's, I mean, a lot of this was salaries, right? There was salaries that were budgeted.
Yep.
As part of the
Yep, yep.
index. So if that person quits, get fired, or whatever, we've already paid for their services, and how does that work financially? They don't fill that position, and, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
If they fill it, less money.
I don't think they prepay all the employees, do they?
No. I don't think there's any employee that gets prepaid.
So, I don't know why we're paying the full amount of the indirect, which is the majority of the salary.
Right. It is. There's a certain percentage for the town administrator, there's a certain percentage for the board of selectmen, so on down the line.
For vouchering, because
So there's something, and then,
approved, so they shouldn't have taken it anyway.
yeah.
That's why I'll
The
double,
vouchers were, they wasn't approved by the board.
Yeah, well, if there isn't a voucher,
I'll find out.
Yeah, that's a big
okay.
problem.
Any other,
Next Monday.
any other
Well, I'll find out
questions?
tomorrow,
Yeah, but if so, we can ask.
and I'll let you know tomorrow. I'll send an email to everyone.
Okay,
Send to my personal.
Mm-hmm. I always send it to both.
Yeah. We can ask him Monday why it's taken.
okay. So there it is. All right. Policies. We've got a couple of them here. Oh, okay. In with the policy stuff, there is a 3-page, George mentioned it to me yesterday that it was coming. This isn't it. Oh, okay, no, I guess it is. Specs and requirements.
There was Mr. Chairman, there's a breakdown for our basic requirements for the water, for materials and things, and there's also a revised fire department policy for hydrant use, and kind of combining all that, so just a draft for you.
Okay,
guys to look at.
all right.
I don't know if anybody read it, if you want to wait till the next meeting to go over it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first we've seen of this, that's why I just brought it
The
up.
last meeting it came in,
That's a first shot at starting to develop some specs. Actually, this isn't really, I don't think this is really what we, okay, there's, okay, we'll have to look at it. Components, parts list. There's-
they combine certain things with some policies that have to be adhered to when they do search work.
Well, yeah.
What we expect.
Okay, I'm not sure this is exactly what we were looking at, but
It's a start.
it's a start.
You can look through it.
We can look through it and discuss it in our next meeting. And then the fire hydrant, the hydrant policy, hydrant use policy is here. The next stab at it.
Yeah, that was condensed with some of your wording and some that was in there before.
Okay, the only thing that concerns me about this calls out the fire department. Though they're a part of the whole thing, what if landscaping company is doing a big job and they want to hit a hydrant in order to get water to do the job? That's not called out
They
here.
come to us and we.
But that's not part of the policy here, and that's what I'm looking.
The policy wasn't to.
Not
for
the-
the fire department,
It's
to
the-
establish a policy for anyone using a hydrant.
For anyone, somebody wants to use a hydrant to fill a pool, what's the, I know what the policy is, but it's not in writing. If the highway department wants to use a hydrant to fill a
Sweeper.
street sweeper. It's, you know, it just general, more generalized. This is specific to one department, and I don't,
Well, after
Right.
the first time we looked at it for that purpose, that's how it was just written down and finalized. I can add on anything you want.
I kind of like this, and I don't mind saying it's for the fire department. We can make another one for,
You're better off having a standard policy.
I'd much rather have a standard policy that just,
Well-
that's just my opinion, that talks about hydrant use. If I want to hit the hydrant across the street from my house to fill my swimming pool.
The problem is it defines emergency use and non-emergency use, and when they can, some of it has to pertain to the fire.
Some of it
Filling
does.
trucks and maintenance and training. I can add on the other stuff too, as far as for other entities, that kind of thing,
As for, the, I don't know, I read through it. Line 1, number 1, the only one that, in an emergency situation, the only one that really is germane is B. Just making a call over the radio, if somebody's available to answer the highway radio at whatever time, if it's during the day, that's great, or contacting the office in an emergency. If there's nobody in the office, then, and the phone number's wrong, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
It says 8017.
Yeah, if the
But
office isn't reached, then it goes into you can also go to the dispatch and get the cell phones of all the
It just
employees.
simply as part of the protocols for if water is going to, if it's a confirmed fire where water is going to have to be used, just a call to the on-call water person. And that would be through South County Dispatch.
If nobody reaches one of those people on-call, which has happened numerous times, and they have to call the individual cell phones of everyone in the water sewer.
That they have that, but that would be, that. It's not going to be anybody else doing it other than dispatch. Who else would be doing it?
Fire department personnel.
How? Who's going to stop it? Who's going to
'Cause
stop
they
it at a fire scene and start dialing up phone numbers?
They have cell phones and they use them. The fire chief uses his cell phone when he's on scene doing calls, trying to get other
But he's
entities in or
going to
whatever.
stop doing firefighting in order to make a phone call?
Yeah, he's command, he uses his phone and he uses his radio and he uses.
Even if, like, for example, they need to call the National Grid,
He can call
hey,
dispatch.
dispatch, call National Grid. So it's, I don't know.
Hey, we brought that up when we first opened the subject up. You expect the driver of the truck to get to the fire and put the fire out first before he worries about making a phone call.
Right.
The fire, the accident's top priority versus
And the key-
calling the water department.
The key on it, if large amounts of water flow are going to be needed, the key for our purposes is to assure that the proper pumps
Well, that's the other thing, yeah.
are turned on to make sure an adequate amount of water is going to that part of town. It's not to,
What are we concerned how they operate?
we're not.
Well, we are in a sense, I mean, you've got old mains and stuff,
It's
if
the
they're not
water-
operating valves correctly.
Water hammer issue,
Part
Bill.
of-
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I understand that part.
But
And
part of-
and what we want is them to notify us.
Just a simple phone
We
call.
don't give a shit who does it, right?
Right.
Right, but if you don't have, well, I
Just
mean,
a-
like I said, and I said that before, I'm not gonna tell the fire chief how to do his job.
Right,
So we just needed to be that we need to be notified. But
right.
Just
I
a
think
situation report.
to Scott's point, I mean, the fire hydrants themselves, the use needs to be addressed because you have hydro seeders and, people getting on hydrants. Do we do a permit, hydrant connection permit for people that are not fire?
No, we have them monitored with us and they exactly do what we tell them to do. They put a meter on and they put a backflow preventer on.
That's what I was saying. So
Yeah,
you
and
wanna
we
have
inspect
that as a
it.
Policy
That
that
would be in the
if.
Yeah,
policy.
that, I could
anyone
add on that to
outside
that.
An emergency.
Yeah, and just,
Yeah.
Should have a backflow device.
to be honest, fire department hydrant, it's hydrant protocol, period. It's not just the fire
But
department.
the fire
Anybody.
department doesn't put backflow preventers and meters
No.
on, so I'm trying to keep this, just the fire department stuff, and whatever you want for the other people can be on the bottom side for other entities. Communication to how to get a hold of somebody, I'm not gonna change that, because it's happened before. They can't raise anybody on the radio, they can't raise anybody by the conventional means through the office, so they go through every cell phone number for water and sewer, and one of those guys will get the message somehow and make the arrangements of what has to
Well,
be
the
done.
on-call person should be answering the phone.
That has not, also not happened at times, because sometimes he leaves his phone in another vehicle.
Well,
They don't get,
that's-
it happened in this main break. I couldn't get a hold of.
My personal,
That's-
I would rather have them trying to call everybody instead of just one on-call person, just in case.
The whole thing, the whole, we're paying for a on-call telephone so that the on-call person can be contacted. If the on-call person is leaving that phone somewhere where they can't hear it, then what good is it? To be simple, to be honest, what good is it? Why are we paying for
By
it?
regulation, they have to respond to an emergency within an hour, so if they're leaving it, not getting calls, you're not
It's-
gonna meet that.
No,
That's-
it doesn't happen often, but I'm not gonna avoid it happening by having a backup plan so they understand who needs to be notified. Whether it be dispatch, whether it be somebody in the field, I don't care. I want them to be able to know the cell phones are there at the dispatch, so that they call dispatch, notify everybody on that thing, what's going on, we need somebody to respond.
Okay, well, that was my original point, police dispatch center, period. Now, well, it's actually not police dispatch center, it's South County Dispatch.
Yeah, and I worry about saying that the fire chief's gonna have to go through all the
Yeah.
phones, I mean, that's.
No.
He's not gonna have to, he's just gonna call dispatch, and sometimes they don't go by the cells. They don't some of them are new, they don't know the cells are there, some have to be told, the cell phone's on file there, use them, water and sewer. They may just call water and not sewer.
I just don't wanna put the onus on fire personnel to be going through a list of numbers to get hold of.
And if-
At this point, I'd rather make sure somebody gets notified somehow, I don't care if somebody's heart's broken or feelings are hurt. They need to go through the whole thing. They can't get Jen, they can't get a on-call, they can't get the radio, they go and tell the dispatch, hey, I know you got cell phones, call every number there you got for both departments. Then you're gonna get somebody.
I don't have a problem leaving it in, because you have the dispatchers, and that's our main concern.
It's just the more steps you put in there, the more you allow for something getting dropped. Simple. Call the on-call person. Or, it just, if they don't answer the phone, then we've got a personnel issue. We've got a discipline issue.
But then you're gonna have a tank or a pump issue. and-
Yeah, but it could come, Mr. Chairman, it could come down to, okay, the phone broke somehow, or it didn't get charged.
Oh.
There's other reasons,
How many what-ifs do you want to throw at it? What if
but
it starts raining fire?
what is the problem if, as long as, and I understand it's more steps, but as long as the dispatch is notified, it's gonna solve our problem. Hopefully.
It's a working structure fire or a confirmed fire, water department needs to be notified. End of story. However they do it, they can do it however they need to. Make sure they get notified. I don't know, just adding, the water office is open for 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. Then only half a day on Friday. There's nobody there, so that's not a viable policy option. And folks don't carry radios unless they're in a department vehicle, which would be during the day.
What if Jen's out sick for a week or something?
There's
happens?
nobody in the office, that's right.
Okay, so then you
That's-
go, what step you go next?
Right, but that's Scott's point, is it should go to whoever's on call.
So what you're doing is you're making, the person making the call is the dispatch center.
Whoever's on call could be working on a main break, and we could be having generators going, you can't hear the phone going. You guys do what you want. Again, this is getting to be a problem here. I know what the procedures that happens on the field, because I work out in the field. I work in the fire department. I'm giving you all the basic things, and they're not that much. There's only a few of them. that they can do to help them guide them to contacting a person. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
We've had the Dudley Fire Department since 1960, putting out fires using our hydrants. This is the first time it happened because we had the Bates tank down, that we had the
We had
issues.
both tanks down.
Well, both tanks down, because the main leak going through it. It's once in 60 years.
And it was the biggest fire Dudley's probably had.
Oh, I get that.
It's virtually a once in a
And
lifetime,
this isn't-
once in a lifetime
This isn't
issue.
just fire department, I'm
You
just,
know?
you put all those steps in, with everything else going on in the dispatch center, because they're the ones gonna make the call. Everything going on in the dispatch center, they're gonna stop and make
They're not gonna make a call.
3
for
different
the-
levels?
They're not, yeah. They're not gonna prioritize this call to let the water department know.
They're not.
we're
It's
hitting
not
a
gonna get,
hydrant.
what's gonna happen is
As
it's
simple
not
as
gonna
that.
get done.
It's not gonna get done.
They just call and if the on-call person is not answering the phone, we got an issue.
And that's a new one.
That on-call person should be answering that phone. I don't care if they're sitting on the toilet.
But George says to go through the cell phone numbers. Well, if they can't hear their on-call cell phone, they're not gonna hear their personal cell phone.
Unless they're leaving their on-call phone somewhere where they don't have to hear it. You're on call, you're getting paid to be on call. Have that damn phone nearby.
Or transfer it to your other phone, so you only carry one. That's
Yeah,
what I
call
do.
forward it.
I've got 3 phones, I carry 2. I leave one forward to the other phones.
But, I mean, there's work that needs to be done.
Let's table this water fire department hydrant issue now that both tanks are in service. And we're out of the drought situation.
Well, I still say we need a policy for the hydrant.
Hydrant use, general
Yeah,
hydrant.
we don't want any individual contractors using it. I don't want the hydro seat guys. Most of the hydro seat people I see, they're at French River or something like that, drafting out of a pond.
But,
Yeah, they should be.
No.
But
but if you don't have a policy in place and they get on it, you have no enforcement.
that's,
So if you
exactly.
have a policy with a fee involved.
With fees.
Because if you want, if a hydroseeder wants to get on a hydrant, there should be a hydrant permit fee. They pay the fee, you measure the
And
water, you
that's
put back
expen-
on
that's
it.
expensive.
And if
Expensive
anybody
water.
gets on a hydrant and they're not doing what they should do and they slam it shut, now we've got a potential water hammer and that could be anyone. I mean, it doesn't happen anymore, but back in the day when they used to open hydrants, so kids could play in the water on hot summer days. I mean, that doesn't happen anymore, but there are situations where somebody might, and if we don't have a policy, we have no teeth. We have nothing to fall back on. So,
Well, I think we need to come up with one for other use in the fire department.
it should be
Yes.
general.
Yeah, I
Period.
think that policy should say no one touches it except for fire. Either fire, it's there for fire use and for flushing for the water departments. It's not for anybody else. It's not for a hydro seeder. Well, maybe the highway department uses it to fill their,
we need a
sweeper
pol-
up. But
we need a
for an
pol-
individual contractor or anyone else to
Again,
come out
that's-
and think they have rights to use that hydrant, they shouldn't.
But I can tell you that, and George can probably verify it, that anytime they're paving the roads, the contractors get on a hydrant to fill their rollers.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
This wasn't meant to put anything else on. This was just for the fire department to true it up. That was all that it was, for drafting it for a true up. The rest of it we'll put on after if you want.
If that's how you saw it, George, that's not what was originally asked for.
Yes, it was originally asked for, to correct it.
It came up, in my eyes, it came up because of the fire.
It came up because of the
And
fire,
unaccounted
but other
water.
things.
Right, but this is, we can add the.
What's the pleasure of the board? I'm not gonna argue this
I believe we
anymore.
brought up the
If we don't wanna do it, we can throw it away and just,
Prior to the fire, but it brought it to the top of the list.
Yeah,
with
and
the
Right.
fire.
Unaccounted water. How many thousands of gallons?
I'm not gonna sit here all night and just argue about this stuff. What do we wanna do?
Well, I wouldn't vote to approve it right now.
No,
Yeah.
I won't either.
It's unclear. It's gotta be reviewed. Table it for tonight. That's almost like 4 or 5 of, you have to sit down together in a round table and discuss it and just take notes.
That's
Then
what I'm
put it
saying,
together.
everybody reviews the policy and my
His
stuff notes
input,
on there, so we
Okay,
can
that's what I
come back and debate it another time.
did a month ago. Okay,
But do we want to, since we're on policies, about other usage, what we'd like to see in a policy?
that, the markup that I had at the last time we discussed that dealt with all that. I think I gave it to George. I gave somebody the markup that I had. I didn't have another copy of it, so I don't have it
Yeah,
anymore.
we dealt with the fire. You gave that to me, but it had nothing to do with anything else.
Oh, it absolutely did.
No, it didn't. I have it.
Okay,
And it said just for clean water and stuff like that. We're trying to maintain that, and there was nothing in there about hydro seeding or other entities using it. So it was just it was just to get the fire department squared away on a small thing and condense it down.
okay. Table it till the next meeting. Let's see about that. Superintendent's report.
If you guys have any questions, just ask.
How long did the last break take, George?
We got out at 11:30 from 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Very ledgy and very difficult to put in, to fix, because they cradled it in slate, and that whole area is rocky and ledgy, so we didn't have any room to work with. So it took us a while to get things.
Did they cut a channel in the ledge?
They cut a channel in the ledge, and they laid the main down, and then they covered it with more stone and material that wasn't
It was
proper.
laying right on the ledge.
Years ago, they never bedded anything
Nope.
in aggregate. They just dug it out, laid the pipe, pushed the debris right back.
And it was, I mean, the stones coming out of that hole,
They're in the yard,
Some-
go look at them in the
some
yard.
of them didn't fit in the bucket.
Really?
Some of them didn't fit in the bucket.
How old is that pipe, George?
That area there back to the
Sewage pipe.
60s, 70s.
60s, yeah.
So we had to do the whole thing
Could be
over
older than
again.
that too, George,
It's leaking.
50s, 60s.
There was no good gripping on the main because of all the silt material got into the Hymax coupling, so we had to take everything apart, put two brand new Hymaxes on and clean everything completely and dig a lot deeper so that we don't get any material into the Hymaxes.
Was there something down the road we need to?
Yeah, replace that whole main and get rid of it. That's
Oh.
one of our,
The digital radios, I know we talked about it,
Yeah, Scott,
but
I
other
got-
members of the board haven't heard about it.
I got, the fire department, police department, all the surrounding towns are going digital. Why they're going digital is a waste of money, but that's them. A specific digital radio for analog and digital is about $4,500 brand new to put in your vehicles, okay? Greg Linsky and I talked, and he got a deal from a city that went to something else, and he was able to get those radios for cheap. So the highway and I got 7, they got 5 of used digital analog radios. So we can now put those in, and they're $400 a piece. And we can put those in our trucks and stuff and be fully communicated again with
We
fire.
have 7?
7.
Last week, I spoke with Greg Linsky, the director of the South County Dispatch, and he's told me that in the spring, police are switching over. Webster and Dudley Police are switching over to digital. Well, we don't care about Webster anyways, but Dudley Police is switching over to digital. Fire department, he doesn't have enough money to do the fire department, so that's probably gonna happen in 2024. There's another grant, they're gonna go after another grant to do the 2 fire departments. I believe the two fire departments, police are pretty straightforward. Change a couple repeaters, it's done. Actually, the police repeater is already digital capable. To change the fire department, they've got voting systems and other things that to cover some of the deader areas of town that will all have to be switched over. There's considerable more equipment at considerably greater expense, so there's gonna need a lot more money to do the fire departments. So that will probably be in 2024.
What was the cost for the saw tech?
I didn't get it directly to me, it was,
Let me see if I can
Did you order
find
the dump truck yet?
yeah, I've already got it ordered and colored and
What's the time frame?
he's hoping by the summertime or earlier if it's possible.
Is one of the radios going in that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
SSO, what's that? Under sewer?
Sewer. That's
Okay.
the new program, meeting the new requirements, they're mostly through the office.
Sanitary sewer,
Over.
oh, okay,
Over.
yeah.
So do we have any
Front
pump
of mine.
stations that are rated at 1 million gallons a day or more? So all the pump stations are lower than that. You don't have a treatment plant.
That's the new standard reporting now. They've increased that requirement a little more stringent for the DEP. If we have an overflow in the street, and as I stated before, the last time we had that major rainstorm, nothing overflowed, which was great. So we were heads up on that, so that was good. It's also going to be, we're working on the program with the tie-in bond for the asset management, continuing on and doing the getting all the manuals and all information from the various stations and sewer department to incorporate in a, like an emergency response plan type thing, like the water did. And that's being put together. It takes some time.
Oh, is, any, those 7, sorry to go back, but those 7 radios, are they in the sewer?
They're going to have, sewer's going to have 2 for their 2 trucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
you have at least 5 for,
2 for the trucks. All 3 of the trucks will have it. The box truck, and if they can't do the
I just brought
backhoe.
up sewer, and I just wondered if they were getting it. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, a
Did you
question
get
on
this off from ATS?
No,
Where'd you get it?
not the police.
Don't even know.
mounted in the sun.
Don't.
Mr. Chairman,
We don't have portables for our own frequency now.
No, yeah, according to their water main breaking.
They just signed it earlier.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I didn't use because they're
I'll find it.
Something I wanted to say, and I can't remember what I wanted to say now. Something off the beaten path here too, a little bit. The Webco situation, I wasn't here, but we did that already, about the PFAS down there. There'll be a time eventually that a water main can be put down there, and talking to Bill Scanlon, this industrial park that they want to try to put up over here by the courthouse on the backside of that. I'm inclining to say to them that I'd like to put a booster station and a tank up there and feed down Tufts Hill and go by Webco, and then I'll have to go off into their property and then over the field and connect into Dresser Hill Road with a water main. That's just my thinking pattern. That could change or not happen or whatever. But it's coinciding because Truman Ave,
So they're talking about a industrial park back
Yeah.
there?
elevation wise.
I don't know, I don't
That's a hell
know,
of a
but
hill.
I just told them.
Hell of a hill to try to put industrial buildings on.
They seem to think it'll work. I don't know. This is what I'm hearing, and I already put my 2 cents into it, what I'd like
Without
to
a,
see.
without a traffic light at that intersection, how's all that with that?
The other thing is,
That's
But
an
if we get a
ugly,
main going,
that's an ugly intersection already, but
yeah. but
that's not our issue, I guess.
But if we get a free main going down the hill out of it,
Well,
No sewer,
Yes.
you have to have
Stay-
a sewer pump station.
we really need a tank, another tank, and we need, and also, this might coincide with a possibility, and this is, I'm gonna put, Jay Billings gonna come in here, talk about aquifer protection, the new water sources I'm looking at, and one of them is off Lyons Road. To potentially put a station in there somewhere, way into the woods by the pond there. And our observation well, testing for PFAS encroachment because of what's going on with Gentex and that. So that's all. You can give a full view on all that, what we're trying to do with that. So things that, there's a few other things going on that kind of happen.
Mr. Chairman, item 12 on the water report, We're just about wrapped up everything at Station 1 over there with the electrician. Are we gonna receive some training from Ty and Bond or Dankers Builders how to run that station?
I've requested a full training session on all that.
They're supposed to, they're supposed to provide an OEM manual.
But we need-
And training.
And training.
That's all part of, that's all part of the
There's
contract.
very complicated equipment in there, when you
That's
think
all-
about
It's
it.
all part of the contract.
And I know we looked, George, we still think those pumps haven't been connected, those sump pumps.
They're connected now.
Did you go in there, pull that cover off and look?
Yeah, it's
All right.
working. You can
I heard it. I
hear
heard
it
it.
every day.
I heard it yesterday.
20
All right,
times a
all
day.
right. So that nylon tubing and all that stuff is out of there?
Yeah.
All right. That's good then, as long as we got training.
Erickson's still doing work in there right now. He's not gonna be done till the end of the week anyway.
Is there a PRV between the Bates tank and the courthouse?
No. That whole area up by Lions Road is a low pressure area. It's only about 30 pounds, give or take.
Yeah, that whole hill is
Yeah.
low pressure. There and up around the standpipe are all really low.
Because you're gonna be over 100 feet difference. So in order to put a tank up there, you have to be up over 100 feet tall to make it match the elevation.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how high they're going, where their property lines end up there, but it was,
It's 600 feet on the back corner of the courthouse, so it goes downhill from there.
you know, it was
So it's 698 towards the top of the Bates tank. So that's 100 feet right there. That's if you put it right at the courthouse.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to put a tank there.
So you'd have to go down the hill more, so you would end up probably needing a PRV somewhere up near the courthouse.
I don't even know how the design would have to, I'd have to see they've been talking about this laying down there, up, you know, but I'm just looking at, you know, if we can do something if we have to. But as long as we benefit with a tank or something, I'd like to try for that if it's possible.
Well, if you look at the tank, Bob, Route 31, your first PRV is down at Healy Road. So that'll give you an indication. And then you get your next one down
No room.
Mill Road.
Right,
So the first one,
so that's what I was trying to
it's
think.
quite a
is
distance.
You would probably have this tank set up off of the Dresser Hill tank. And you would step PRV the other way and then put a PRV on the other side. You could probably increase the pressure in that area over by the courthouse. I know we were having issues over on Lions Road anyway. So you could increase that pressure by putting a tank there that's high enough. Increase that pressure and then put a PRV on the other side, wherever the breaking point pressure-wise is.
Yeah, but also if that.
But you'd have to have some kind of a break between Bates and that area then, wouldn't you? Because the Bates
That's what
tank
I'm
is
saying.
going to affect that.
He's oppositing it. This is
You're not
what
going
we
to
were
put a
looking
tank
at.
100 feet up.
Right.
We were looking at this when if we had a West Dudley pump station,
Right.
reverse those, go up the other way, feed the tank. But yeah, that well can be done too. It all depends on the elevation. I just don't know where this, and how much of this is, I'm just throwing it out to them that, you know, we'd be
Yeah.
interested in doing something out in that area. Plus, if WEPCO comes in and says, okay, we definitely need some kind of water assistance, whatever, then we can
If you're
work
doing
on
an
something with even
industrial
them.
park, they're probably gonna need sprinklers, so you don't want something that can provide volume.
Over across the street, they got the big storage tank, come to think of it, just for fire protection with the booster pumps.
Universal tank.
IPG.
Yeah, well,
universal tank.
but that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's just for private use, just for fire protection.
that's just fire protection. Okay, anything else on the superintendent's report? I saw the guys working the other day. Good job. There was a lot of hand digging that had to be done. And
I was gonna stop too, I get busy.
a lot of hand digging to be done. And it was just really silty and it was not an easy job. Of course, we're gonna pay for it, but good job to the guys. All right. Board comments. Bob?
I was just going through these numbers, and from my initial look at the indirect costs, the percentages that they base it all on are no way near. We're paying way more than what these percentages are.
I seem to remember that he said that some things have been adjusted, but this is what it's based on.
Well, it says.
I don't know.
13% of the treasurer.
Yep.
His salary. Those numbers were way more than 13%.
Oh, hell yeah.
Say
I
we
know.
were like 80% of his salary.
Well, between the two departments, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like 40 and 40, or 35 and 45. It is considerably
I'll go through
higher.
all the percentages and do the math.
But yeah, it can take some time to
We,
get on that.
you still getting together with him about the indirect?
Yeah, we will. But now that the first question I gave him was, how are they computed? Because that will give us all of the questions that we're gonna need to be able to figure out what's going on. And the bottom line is, the budget belongs to the Board of Selectmen. So, but yeah, the computing is,
But the treasurer collector is one person now, right?
it is one person. It was two people, and that's probably one of the biggest things. There's a few questions in there, and we can talk about those, and we're in a good place now to start working hard on this one for the next budget.
Do we want to start that next meeting, or do you want to?
Everybody should take a look at if we want to, we can put it on the agenda, but folks have got to spend some time reading through and digesting how this thing is put together. That's, if you want to put it on the next agenda, we can.
The other thing, just to bring up to George, as was mentioned by Bill, George, you familiar in front of the old chandelier? Bill says there's a fire hydrant out in that field.
Over by,
Behind his house.
there
in the
Do you
was,
think that's live coming off of the Michael Wayne neighborhood?
that neighborhood is fed by a main that comes from Wayne Ave and
Right.
shoots over towards his house.
You think that's an active,
It
that's
is
what we
an active,
mentioned.
that's an active main.
You think that hydrant's active?
All the way to the Chandelier
The
Club?
Chandelier Club property?
I don't think the hydrant there, I barely even remember it because we've never really gone in there.
I think we
We don't
kinda-
touch those,
That's-
to open
that's
up a
good.
can of worms.
Well, I know
Well,
that, but.
the thing is, if it's connected to the line, that means that's a hell of a dead end that's just been sitting there stagnant for,
That's a potential
How
leak
many
that
years?
we would never know about if
That's-
you can't find the
I don't-
gate for it.
I'll have to look at it and see
you
because I don't
investigate it?
remember.
if
don't
it's,
remember the-
if it's still connected, it should be, at a minimum, it could be a place to,
Bill, you getting a pool?
No, but it makes sense what he just said, because when I first bought that property, I had like a driveway going through one-third or two-thirds of the way back in my backyard. My backyard goes all the way to the pond,
yep.
and at the top of the hill, is across the hill, there's a driveway. Well, I went and dug it all up, planted, I had to get hauled away because it was hazardous waste, you know. once
Yeah,
it-
because
it was
it's
dark.
asphalt, yeah.
But I can remember, there was some pipes once in a while, and one of them was broken, but there was no water or sewerage in it. So I just buried them back under and planted grass, so there's grass there with that driveway. But that driveway came in off of Dudley Oxford Road,
Yes.
came in straight across.
I remember a
the
driveway
property
going
between
up
those-
to the Chandelier off of Dudley Oxford Road.
Yeah, and it came right up.
Or, yeah, Dudley Oxford hooks and goes up to the school, but
Yeah.
right next to your house,
Yeah, well, that way.
or right where your house was.
Yeah, and then the other thing is in the back of my yard, I have what looks like an old tee, golf tee. Was it a golf course there?
Yeah,
too?
it used to be a golf course.
Because across the pond is a beautiful green. You can see was a green.
Yeah, maybe a par 3 at the time, way back
Yeah,
around there?
that was a 9-hole.
I know.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I don't think that line is it's
Hey, you mind if I
not
come
used.
Hit some?
Well, it may
And I
not be
think,
used.
not
It's
used, but
still
it's
live.
not, I don't even know if it's, I can't remember, it's not, but I'm just looking at the old Fat Alberts there, that house,
Yep.
that's tied in crazy, and I can't remember how that one was tied
But
in.
that would be worth checking on.
Yeah, we'll look at
Because
it.
those are dead lines.
Is a hydrant in there, still a
Well,
hydrant?
well, I think there is.
I'll look and, we'll
You
we'll
know,
check it
the
out.
house
It'd be
is
worth looking into.
Like right here,
Yeah.
and that road came up right here, but the hydrant was back here.
I don't know if
Back,
we have
the
easements
pond
or
is down
anything
here,
else that
just-
but it was like
access
about
that
100 feet.
Oh, really?
I just know it's on
anything
the
about
excess
that.
of
There's a
pressure
yellow
coming all the way from Route 31.
We'll have to, we'll check it
The
out and
lowest
see.
point.
Might want to go
It's
look.
not up real close.
Something
to
of a
the
leak
house.
there.
That may be,
That probably comes up.
that may be dead, and nothing there, I don't know.
No, because we
We'll have
come
to
around
check it out.
from Route 31 down through Shepherd
It's been a long
Hill.
time
Yeah.
since I.
Through Shepherd Hill,
Something
Dudley,
like that,
Oxford Road.
And it actually came up to.
Oh, yeah, then
I think I'm, again, I'm thinking it's
So-
Wayne Ave, by the hydrant, when you come down the hill from
Get
Main
back,
Street.
Okay.
yeah.
There's a gate
Get
that
back
goes
to
up
the
for a
meeting.
line that goes in there, and I think
so-
it's shut down now,
Yeah,
so I don't think it's.
Any other
open, but
comments,
I'll
Bob?
find out.
Wayne is over here on the other side.
Tom?
of the pond.
Yeah.
I thought it was right
I
on.
don't know if we gotta,
Yeah, there wouldn't be
We
anything
wanna
over here
discuss
though on
that
that side of the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put it on the agenda
Well, I'm figuring this hydrant.
as a placeholder,
Yeah.
then, you know, if we're ready for it,
We
ready
use
to,
that as the chandelier club and the.
we should be, yeah, if everybody reads it. Oh,
Because
next,
I think
yeah,
we
go
could've
ahead.
had a business
Just wanted to
Bill,
bring up
having
the
a hydrant,
point.
although there was, all those ponds over.
Did you, any, other than, well, that, actually, that would have been a board member comment right there. Do you have any other comments? The board member comments?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think we're heading in the right direction,
Yep.
but on the hydrant policy.
Right.
I don't think we need to lay out who calls what. We just have to say the dispatcher will
Yeah.
notify
Yeah,
and let them figure out who they're gonna call.
Yep.
But your point about the duty guy should be answering the phone. That's what if they're being paid for that, that's what they should be.
absolutely. I don't have anything else. Next meeting.
well, we're gonna post one for Monday, right?
Well, yeah, we'll have to post one for Monday and for the following Thursday.
That one's already posted.
Yep, that's already posted. Now, do we want to have a meeting in 2 weeks? I know I don't want to have a mid-December meeting. Do we want to have one in 2 weeks to try to hammer out these policies and, you know, if we got a short, yeah, it's getting close to Thanksgiving. It's up to members of the board. We can wait until December.
Yeah, kinda nice to take a break.
Yep. Okay. Just waiting for a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous at 8 o'clock.
Holy
So you
cow.
lost your over-under.